going to attempt to read this post from my friend because I was very impressed with what everybody wrote underneath. I'm shaking. We'll see how I do. I have memory loss. I remember some, but I'm not sure if what I remember is correct. Did any of you experience this? All of this from medication. I mean, wow. It's creepy and it scares me. I know it won't happen now, but just the fact that it did freaks me out. Then add in the looping, the intrusive thoughts, all the derealization, the depersonalization. This state I'm in is just too much. It's just too much. Just knowing that I am disabled, too disabled to even function. I have no life. How will I even be able to face anyone when this finally goes? Will I even make it? Will I even make it? Looping, just in shock. I'm still in shock. To be hurt so badly with no outside help, I'm actually afraid of doctors now. How will I ever be able to trust again? But mostly wondering if I'm even going to make it. So much depends on the kindness of the world. I'm so sorry I got hurt like this. I sat with my anger long enough until she told me her real name was grief. I'm going to read comments. Oh yes, memories are distorted. Are they real or aren't they? Today, yesterday, or last year, last hour, or hours ago? Was my life before this even real? Yes, it's med-related. I believe once we can get out into the world and expand our scope, this is bound to get better, surely. I believe our nervous system and organs have been severely damaged, and that in attempt to heal itself, our bodies turn off things it doesn't need at the moment. I agree with that. It'll just shut stuff down. In an attempt to fix the rest of the parts. While it's working on something else, it will shut something else down. We've all experienced that. I agree. Okay, at the moment, well, okay, let me start. I'm sorry. It doesn't need at the moment. An attempt to fix and reset parts that it doesn't. And that it all comes back as repair is achieved. I may be wrong, but that makes me feel better about things. Yes, stuff comes back after it's been fixed. Sometimes it goes away again. It wasn't quite fixed right. It's because we are making no new memories over the last several years of our mind reaches to recall events that under normal circumstances would have become faded remnants of thoughts. Our memories of the last several years have been those of pain, fear, isolation, hopelessness, and terror. The looping thoughts become the norm because we have nothing to replace them with. Yes, I constantly say I'm stuck in old trauma, story, timeline, because I don't have any new story to tell yet. In akathisia, you are constantly in fight or flight response. The only type of thought your brain is capable of doing is problem solving. It loops on the thought, how can I get out of this damaged body? How can I get out of this damaged body? How can I get out of this damaged body? How can I get out of this damaged body? Meanwhile, nothing you are experiencing is sticking. Like someone said, no new memories to replace old ones. That's why we can't remember where we set it down. Nothing is registering in fight or flight. People can't even remember their name. If you run up and ask them loudly to their face, once I realized this, well, I began to forgive myself for what was going to continue to happen. It's all part of this, you guys. It will get better. I actually think akathisia is a signal loop blocking over and over. The looping thoughts, how did I get this way? How can I fix myself? I can't survive another day. This is all my fault. What am I doing wrong? What can I try? How will my death destroy those I love around me? On and on and on. I haven't stopped vibrating for a month. Had some scary heart palpitations the other day. I almost never get those, ever. Do you know what causes the palpitations when injured? That was never part of the panic before the meds. Yes, I do. It's cortisol and adrenaline rushing through your body. Nothing's regulated. Bright light can cause that. Your nerves are waking, not dying, like it feels. Sometimes the signals don't make sense to the brain. It begins to try to make sense, and it doesn't. I deeply believe that many of us experience panics, starting with the physical odd firings from everywhere waking. Trying to heal. I think the answer for me was more physical too. To slow the unreal physical than mental panic state. I hated the feel of water, but I noticed warm water on my feet, or an ice cube on my stomach at the base of my skull did begin to calm the panic, and it slows it. It truly does. Interesting. Yep. I lost interest in everything. It's like forcing yourself to go through the motions. You are saying you think the inner vibrations are being caused by the injured receptors regrowing and healing. Is there a basis for this? Sound possible, but so many differing options. I don't know what that was all about. Okay, here we go. Yes, I have experienced this. We're talking about what I read. Things that I did that I have no memory of that I wish I could remember, and things I remember that I wish I could forget. I also have bits and pieces of memories, not the complete picture. The fear that generates is real. So much. Dates, times, what day is it? How do I make that? It is early morning or yesterday night. I'm living it. This is one of the worst remaining symptoms, and a layer of menopause to it, and I have the brain of a 90-year-old. I'm in the same kind of bad way. Sorry, have you been listening to this recording, hun? Beautiful love affirmations, you and I am. Reprogramming the mind and the heart. See, people always send me cool stuff. There we go. I hope I didn't show anybody's name. Okay, here's another one. I'm fighting lots of this just recently. I keep calming it over and over and over. Jesus doesn't lie. He loves us. He shows us the Father's love. Watch the word of faith and don't give up. Okay, here's another one. Lucinda, I am waking up after 25 years of being polydrugged into oblivion. going, what the fuck just happened? I lost almost everything. I remember so little from those years except the trauma etched into the loop into my brain about horrible things that happened to me while drugged, like the 10-year war in the family court system with my narcissistic ex. I could not win. I had to surrender. I sure tried, though, but looking back, I see how much I perpetuated that war and the damage I did to the kids. I don't know how to get out of the loop. I haven't built a new life, though I am trying so hard. We all are, honey. I know. I am left with the memories, good and bad, of what was. It wasn't for my mother, and my children still love me. From afar, mostly. I doubt I would have made it. I have been actually working on myself for 3 years, and I just can't find healing. I will never give up, though. Please never give up. We're gonna make it. I've been on K and high doses of SSRI since age 30. I went through my mother's horrible health and from cancer, my dad's death from cancer, losing my job, being on SSDI, moving from childhood home to 2 different apartments, losing my cats, death of friends. I became a super avoidant, a recluse. I'm alone. I relied upon popping poisons to get me through horrible tragedy. For me, I saw no other way. I remembered snippets of the past, but everything seems foggy and far away, like it never existed. A creepy way to exist. I don't recognize myself in the mirror. I never have an appetite. It's surreal. I just hope the Lord forgives me. I need to work on myself. It's soul-crushing. You're not being punished, honey. I relate to this so much. I look in the mirror and I don't even know who that is. I stare into my own eyes and search my soul, and I'm just so lost. I love you. We're going to be okay. This will get better. We will start to build lives again. Thank you for sharing this with me, and I hope you don't mind that I shared it with others. I want people to know that they're not alone in this, that we're all experiencing these emotions and feelings, and that they will get better. They will get better. Forever, Windows Warriors.